Every once in a while we have a good idea, and I like the fact that you brought up functional training to me when we were on the phone together 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's a topic of concern for me, and has been for quite some time, because of the fact that a whole bunch of people are wasting a whole bunch of other people's time in the weight room doing things that do not make them stronger and do not improve their skill on the field. Functional training is neither practice nor is it training. And Kim and I were talking about this a while back, and it's just, he's had a lot more experience, a whole lot more experience with these types of things than I have, because I have my own gym, and I've had my own gym for decades, and I don't have to deal with other people's bullshit. He, on the other hand, has to deal with other people's bullshit all the time. And so he's been exposed to this at a very deep level, and he's got some thoughts on this. And I think you're going to find that there is, after you watch today's podcast, you're going to come away with some very good arguments against this particular wasting of time called functional training. So, Kim, tell me about this.
Okay, well, first of all, I look at functional training as a marketing term, like natural soda pop, essential oils. Okay,
right, gluten free.
Right. In fact, this is kind of funny. Yesterday, I got my catalog from the leaders in functional training.
Yeah.
And so, here's one thing.
It's like a toy catalog, isn't it?
So here's the thing. Here's the functional training handbook, and this is like the poster child exercise is this Bulgarian split squat. Okay.
Right.
Now I've had quite a experience with the Bulgarian split squat. Back in the late 80s, Angel Spasov, who was a Bulgarian coach,
I knew him well. He was a good guy. I really enjoyed being around Angel.
He came to visit me, and I gave him a tour of the Air Force Academy. I was asking about his training methods, and he told me about this type of split squat that he was doing with the Bulgarian weightlifters. And the funny thing is, the type of split squat that he was doing was with the back foot only about 4 inches off the ground. So you were actively using that back leg. Okay.
As a hip extensor. As a hip flexor. As you came up out of the bottom, that's actually hip flexion. So.
Yeah. And so I was really curious about it, and we tried it with our athletes. It was kind of funny. I was showing it to one of my elite figure skaters, Gorsha Sir. He was a national champion for the United States. And I asked him about the exercise, and he said, well, if you lift your back leg even higher, it's very specific to ice dancing. So in 1981, I actually wrote an article for a figure skating magazine on the Gorsha lunge. And it was kind of funny. We tried it on two of our swimmers, and they came back to me the next day and said, Coach, I tell you, our Gorshas are so sore.
Yeah.
Not realizing what it was. But I was really interested in that, and I was talking to Bud Charniga, and he said, there's an article that came out in Muscle and Fitness about this exercise, along with the step up, and they claimed that Taraninko, who had held the world record in the clean and jerk for 30 plus years, he stopped doing back squats, and all he's been doing is these split squats and these step ups. And
I don't believe that.
So here's the thing: Bud speaks Russian. He went to and he saw Taraninko, and he said, Angel Spasov says you stopped doing back squats. And he said, well, yeah, I just squatted but 827 for 3 reps with a 2 second pause. And who's Angel Spassoff? Now, and the funny thing about the is we had actually Abajev, the head Bulgarian coach, at our gym about a dozen years ago, and I got to spend some time with him. And I asked him, "Hey, tell me about this Bulgarian lunge," and he says, "I never. What do you talk about?"
Right.
And he never did the exercise. But the other thing is that the problem with this exercise, you look at the front leg, because the leg is so elevated, he's not even reaching a parallel position with his front leg. But you're also having some other issues, is that with the leg that high, you're creating a hyperextension of the spine. And
Yes.
in addition to that, Stuart McGill, who's done over 200 research studies on back pain, he's one of the foremost authorities on the world. He says you get into this anterior and posterior twisting of the spine. So one side of the pelvis goes this way, the other goes the other way, and you create a lot of shearing forces on the spine. Okay, so you have the shearing forces on the spine, and you have the hyperextension on the spine. I think you end up doing a lot more harm than good.
Well, they're a stupid idea.